I'd like to call the Rock County Board of Supervisors meeting.
To the Ad hoc Youth in Governance Program Exploratory Committee. D, recognition of other county employees or others. E, other. E1, amending the 2023 Human Services budget to accept additional funding for youth prevention supplemental CAA NCE funds. E2, approval of the purchase of technology networking equipment for the Law Enforcement Services Jail renovation project. That is the end of the consent agenda.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
You have to ask. Ask if anybody wants to remove.
Moved by Supervisor Whitledge, seconded by Supervisor Davis. Are there any questions on items on the consent agenda? Are there any objections to items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, consent agenda passes. Next item, please.
Next item, item 5, public hearing. We do not have a public hearing this evening. Item 6, citizen participation, communications, and announcements. We have 2 individuals signed up to speak this evening. When I call your name, please come to the front. Please state your name and municipality. You'll be allowed to speak for 2 minutes. The first speaker is Marissa Vokal.
Can you hear me okay? All right, good evening. My name is Marissa Vogel. I live in the town of Janesville in District 8, and I just wanted to come and introduce myself to you all tonight. You don't know me. I am running for District 8 County Supervisor position, and a little bit about my background. I am a registered nurse, and I've been in healthcare for almost 20 years. I recently left that and moved into real estate as a realtor and a general contractor. As a nurse, I spent a lot of my time in my career actually doing a lot of what you're doing. I went through regulations, standards, state statutes, and helped organizations across the United States come into compliance, as well as spent time working with them to create a safer, better public health and community health network. So I've had a lot of experience working with EMT, firefighters, first responders, and a great deal of experience working in crisis management and emergency management, all levels, from the local jurisdiction to federal, even overseas. So I'm very excited to bring those skills in public health to this board if I happen to be elected. Additionally, I'm a farm girl, so I am my near and dear to the farming community. My whole family are farmers. I live on a small farm myself. I love my chickens. They make the best eggs. But I want to bring that in as well. I have an MBA, and like I said, I am in real estate, so I own and operate my own company as well. So I'll stick around for the meeting. I would love to see how things operate, and I am very interested to meet more of you. So if you have any questions, please give me a call or, stop by. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Our next speaker is Dennis Hilgendorf.
My name's Dennis Hilgendorf from Janesville. Many of you have seen me speak up here before. I am running for supervisor in District 21. I decided to run frankly, because of what I saw on the board. I had never been to a board meeting. Rock County was the first board, a lot more calm. I've got a lot of experience in business. I took over my father's business when I was 20, which is too young to take over a business. That was 45 years ago, 47, coming up 47 years ago now. Own a manufacturing company, employ a number of people. So I know all about vendors, suppliers, employees, contract negotiations. I've got a lot of experience writing proposals, bids, and I think I could do the board a lot of good. I'd actually like to comment on, I believe it was, I listened to one of the committee meetings, but I was having trouble with my Zoom, considering about going to electric vehicles in the county. I think this is probably the biggest waste of money. When you consider it, companies that have switched their forklifts over to hydrogen, the cost is higher, but there's no pollution. There's no, it's free basically because you're using water as a fuel. And that's about all I have. I'll stick around afterwards too if anybody wants to ask me any questions or get to know me better. Thank you.
That was our last speaker signed up to speak. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak this evening?
Seeing none, are there any supervisors with a comment or communication tonight? Supervisor Beaver?
Probably not. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to give a big thank you. On the 911 center, unfortunately, I had to use them a couple weeks ago. And they were excellent, very professional. They knew that I was and had the police and the ambulance there in no time at all. So it's the first time I've had to use them for myself. I've, used them a lot when I was an EMT, but it's the first time I actually had to call them. So I just want to say thank you. We do have a top-notch 911 service, and just thank you guys for all you do.
Other supervisors? Supervisor Mahoney?
Thank you. The ad hoc committee for Rock Haven meeting is canceled for next week. I don't know if everybody saw that, but it is canceled till next month, I believe.
Thank you. Others? Anything from staff? I do have one thing. This Saturday night, the Friends of Rockport Park. If you're not sure, Rockport Park is a very large city park on the edge of Janesville, but it's as large as a county park. Anyway, this Saturday night, we are sponsoring our annual candlelight ski/hike. There will be no skiing this Saturday, unfortunately, but there will be hiking. So consider coming out. It's good family fun. There are bonfires, there's food, beverage, and of course, hiking. It starts at 6 o'clock, Rockport Park. Thank you. Next item, please.
Staff.
I already asked.
Good job. Item 8, recognition of county employees or others. Well, item 7, we don't have any of 7 or 8. Item 9, introduction of new resolutions or ordinances by supervisors for referral to appropriate committee.
Any supervisors wishing to introduce a new resolution, please bring it forward at this time. Any others at this time? Supervisor Zajac, if you'd please give us a very brief summary of your proposed resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution authorizes ARPA funds to be used for the YMCA Immigrant Outreach Program, a program that's been in existence around here since 1993, and it's kind of a rare commodity, and I think it ties in pretty well with some of the things we've used ARPA for, including in some of our stances here on human trafficking and how we can assist in this manner too.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, item 10, reports. 10A, Children's Museum of Rock County, John Westfall.
Hi, Josh. Nice to see you. We're gonna have screens. I'll wait for my buddy to get her running. Good evening, everybody. My name's John Westfall. I'm a resident of Janesville. I'm here to talk to you about the Children's Museum of Rock County. I'm the president of the Children's Museum of Rock County, which consists of 6 people, 6 volunteers. There's no walls, there's no building. We have 6 volunteers. We have a newsletter we put out about 4 times a year, and we do events for little kids as much as we can around the county. We are running a capital campaign to build a brand-new children's museum, the only one that would ever exist so far in Rock County, in the former First National Bank, Chase Bank in downtown Janesville, 100 West Milwaukee Street. I'm here to request funding from the county, what I understand could be ARPA funding, in the amount of $500,000, which would equal the funding that the Board of Supervisors voted for the Discovery Place Children's Museum in Beloit. That's part of the Beloit Public Library. I'd like to just give you a brief overview of what we're trying to accomplish in a few slides here. What am I doing there, Randy? Oop, there we go. It's not showing up there. It's not showing up there, no.
Isn't this right? I don't know if you just need to right click on the presentation. PC.
You want me to wait, Randy, or should I ad lib?
Wait just a second.
Still not working.
Go back.
Go back? No, what do you want me to do? Look at that. Good enough. You can, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Here's our goal, our mission. We're trying to educate little kids between the ages of another educational opportunity for little kids, in addition to our public and private school system. One of the best ways kids learn how to learn and get educated is through play. A children's museum is not a museum that has static displays. It's a place where little kids come in and interact with displays. They move water, they push air, they climb, they move sand around, they move water around, they run, they jump, they do all sorts of stuff in this huge sandbox of interactive displays. Stimulates their education, stimulates their thinking, they get curious about the world. It's proven that kids that get curious about the world want to get educated. They stay in school. There's a good chance they're going to graduate from high school. They might go on to continuing education, and they become great citizens, and they stay here in Rock County. What we're trying to do, we're trying to raise $10 million. And we're going to put, and that's for a capital campaign, and that entire $10 million or more is going to go into constructing the museum. We're going to tear down the drive-up that's next. I'll show you some pictures that's next to the bank. We're going to reuse the historic bank building and the whole 2 stories of that. And then we're going to build a big, huge addition where the drive-up is to put a custom floor plan and custom exhibits in that space that we want. What we're going to do, then we have a startup business. These are our goals. Raise the money, build the museum, and start up a business from scratch where there is none. We're employ the staff, about 10.5 full-time equivalent employees, have a budget of $1 million to $1.5 million a year. Then we're going to provide oversight and guidance for years to make this the best nonprofit in Rock County. And then we're going to operate it and have a viable, long-term, perpetual children's museum in Rock County. Here's the thing that's great about this. In the state of Wisconsin, we have the highest number per capita children's museums in the United States. And that's because of our weather in the winter. And it's like an island chain, an archipelago of children's museums that start up by Lake Superior, come all the way down to southern Wisconsin, except there's a big hole in Rock County. There's Milwaukee, there's Madison, there's Sun Prairie, there's even Black Earth. But you got to jump over Rock County and go to Rockford, or Chicago, or Springfield, or St. Louis, or Des Moines, or Kansas City, but not in Rock County. The great thing about children's museums is they cooperate, they don't compete against each other. And so what happens is families who have their kids going to the children's museum in Madison, the kids get tired of that one because they've been to it a million times. Dad, let's go to a different one. They take them down to the Janesville or the Rock County Children's Museum, a completely different setup for them. And they go back and forth between all these museums. So we expect families to drive from up to 65 minutes away. This map shows drive time from the various communities to get to downtown Janesville to this children's museum. We have an expectation of having 18,000 kids a year coming to downtown Janesville for this children's museum. We expect to have yellow school buses showing up from every community in Rock County of, kindergartners to 4th graders showing up and having field trips every day, birthday parties, summer programs, outreach programs going out to all the schools. We're going to raise funds through admissions. So turnstiles, if kids, families come in, we charge them. The Children's Museum of Rock County, no child will be turned away based on their economics. We will take every child. If they can't pay, that family can't pay, we're going to welcome them because our goal is to educate little kids and keep them here in Rock County. We're going to be open 7 days a week, except for holidays, and welcome families from all over southern Wisconsin. Our primary objectives, encourage and educate kids from 0 to 8. Rock County is Rotary Gardens. They have 100,000 visitors a year. 60,000 of them come in a 5-week period on their holiday light show. We're going to bring, in year 1, our consultant tells us, expect 101,000 tourist visitors in downtown Janesville. It is going to transform the downtown. As I've told the Janesville, create a major parking problem in downtown Janesville and have people come and pound on a podium, you know, at the county board meeting or city hall saying, you got to get us some parking. Stable year, we expect 81 to 90,000 visitors a year coming to downtown Janesville. We're going to revitalize a building that has no development plan, is risk being blighted, and we are going to put forward Janesville Foundation. We expect spillover spending when people come downtown and they don't like our cafe where we're going to sell them a cup of coffee and a bottle of water. They might go someplace else for lunch, for dinner, for shopping, whatever. And the Janesville Convention dollars in spillover spending in the county, just from the Children's Museum. And again, we're going to provide family recreation, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the plan. This is if you're standing on West Milwaukee Street, looking right across at the old bank. The building on the right is the historic Rock County First National Bank, where the facade has been removed. Our plan is to restore the exterior, not in a perfect historic renovation, but to make it look like it's supposed to look, like the original building. Inside, we're going to have the full 2-story barrel vaulted ceiling, and we do it right. We're going to have a climbing structure that goes all the way up to the tippy top for little kids to scrape the ceiling in there. The addition that goes west is going to be full of exhibits from county residents. We already have input from county residents one time. We'll do that again. We're going to focus on some major themes. 1, the river. 2, agriculture. 3, gritty manufacturing, industrial building stuff. What do I mean by that? Maybe a kid takes apart a car the size of that table. The kids do up on a hoist, a plastic car. Maybe they plant plants out in a fake, make-believe field. Maybe they do a farm-to-table thing. Maybe they play with the Rock River and make dams and learn how sand moves and water moves and stuff like that. That's going to be in the building addition you see to the left. This is another view looking up West Milwaukee Street. And here's another view as if you're looking down Milwaukee Street. You'll see we're looking at having rooftop activities, patio and exterior play area for kids, 20 parking spaces. You can see the Cobblestone Motel there, hotel off to the east of that. Here's a bird's eye view. There's no plan for the parking lot that is behind the building and to the north. The goal is that this spurs gentrification in downtown Janesville of some kind of apartment or condo development on that north back bare parking lot, which is a goal of developers for downtown. We think this will be a real catalyst for downtown because it's little kids and it closes at 5 o'clock. So it's not like you're living next door to some kind of rambunctious tavern or something. So we think this will really spur development downtown. And maybe some of the buildings that developers have not chosen to develop yet, maybe this will like put a little peer pressure on them and make them want to develop other properties that are downtown. Floor plan, you can see on the right, that's the old bank. And we'd have the Rock River kind of exhibit. A continuum climb is a 2-story climbing structure to wear kids out. You see that thing called the safe, that's the vault. We expect to make that a sensory, a calm sensory area for kids with autism or autistic tendencies. They'll go into the vault. You can see we have a maker's lab. We have reading areas, early childhood to read to them, read books to them. This is the first floor. Second floor, again, the climbing structure, a place on the lower right for kids to run, like a running track. And then on the whole north side of that would be a farm-to-table agriculture thing of planting fake plants, raising critters, selling them at a grocery store, getting it through the scanner, stuff like that. Artwork, a little art studio, a little theater studio maybe for kids to learn how to play with a light board and a soundboard, get them interested in that kind of stuff, and more reading, coloring, moving stuff, things like that. Again, these aren't written in stone, but this is what we're thinking. 10 million bucks. We've raised 5.6 million so far, 100% of it from private donors. I've been working on this campaign for 18 months. It's a challenge, okay? Because there's a lot of great campaigns out there to do great things in Rock County. We've gotten money from private individuals, from families, from foundations, from corporations, from small businesses. We hope to get some from Rock County. We're taking pledges over 5 years. If that is what worked out best for the county and wanted to make a pledge, we wouldn't need the $500,000 in one swoop, but I need some kind of pledge for them to take to the lenders to show them that we're good for the money and this is the cash flow when it's coming in. We got a corporate campaign working right now, which is coming to an end pretty soon. We're hoping to raise $500,000. We have a small business campaign called Everyone for the Kids, where we're hoping to raise $500,000, but that's going pretty slow. 2 months, and we've raised $20,000 at $5,000 a crack. So that's going a little slow for us. I have submitted a grant request to the Wisconsin Department of Administration for their non-state building grant program, where they have a grant request for $3 million. That was due January 31. I don't know when we're going to hear about it. They don't have a fixed date. I'm ready to submit a grant to the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation for their Community Development Investment Grant. That's $250,000. WEDC tells me that's a layup, but we can't submit that until we're at 80% of our capital campaign. That'd be $8 million. We're at 5.6. They tell me it's a layup because it checks every box that they want for the WEDC Community Development Investment Grant. And we're pursuing new market tax credits, which we think we could get over $2 million. New market tax credits are where the Justice Department, the federal government, offers a 37% tax incentive, tax break, tax credit for investors that will invest in real estate that they normally wouldn't because it's in a blighted area or rundown area, and they can get a return there with that tax credit that they would normally not get if they invested without that tax credit. That could translate into $2 million of funding for us. And, you know, I'm hoping that next month, I've been waiting a long time for this, because I've been waiting a long time to get in front of the Janesville City Council to have them vote on a matching grant that I started with them a year and a half ago, that I'm hoping to now be able to talk to them about. So that's where the rest of our funding will come from. This $500,000 from the county could be a but-for contribution for this project, meaning that this project might not happen but for the county.